Let's welcome to the show former champ of the world, Amir Khan. Hello, Amir. How are you?
Hi guys, how are you? I'm all right.
Yeah, we're good.
Where are you in the world?
Nice chat we can have.
Yeah, well, listen. Usually people come on and they're selling a book or they're selling a fight, and then you've got guidelines, you've got to ask certain questions. But when I found out you're just coming on for a chat, they're the best kind of chats to have with people.
Yeah, definitely, and it's a real talk. And obviously now I'm a retired fighter. I'm a boxing fan now, so I'm just like everyone else.
We've got lots to talk to you about. Where are you at the moment? You're out in Dubai or Saudi Arabia? Where are you?
No, I'm in Dubai.
Okay.
I'm here for a couple of weeks. Then I'll go back to UK. I've been here. I got invited to watch Usyk train while I've been here, and I didn't know he was a fan. I mean, it's a bit surreal when the heavyweight world champion tells you that. Oh yeah, I've been following you from a long, long time, and I was like, really? I'm a lightweight to you. He's like, no, because I love boxing, and he's a boxing fan as well. And he goes, I've been following your career from the Olympics and then winning world titles. Because when that little thing that you just did earlier, when you said the new world champion, I had fought a Ukraine fighter at that time. It was a guy who he knew well called Andrius Kotelnik, and he was from Ukraine, just the same as Usyk. So they used to train together as well.
Wow, how nice is that? It must be quite flattering when someone like that comes up to you. But you're on his level. You know what it's like to be king of the world. What's he looking like at the moment? I'm hearing reports that he's put on up to 15 kg. Yeah,
that's what he told me. Yeah, that's what he said, and I think I must have told that secret to someone, and then that went in the media. But he looked in great shape. I met him. He looked a lot bigger, a lot thicker. Like, some people put on weight and they're a little bit soft still, but he was solid. Like, honestly, felt strong and put the weight on well. So he says put on 15 kilos since the last fight of muscle. Now, is that going to slow him down? I don't think so. I mean, I've seen him shadowboxing. I've seen him on the pads. He looked really quick. Great footwork he has. And one thing about Usyk is that he's a technician. His boxing IQ is the best out there, I think. You can compare it to like the Lomachenko's out there and other great fighters, but his IQ and how accurate he is what wins him fights. And obviously, he's never tasted defeat before. He's now a heavyweight, and I think a fully fledged heavyweight, strong, and holds a weight well.
Amir, can you see then? You've said that you've been watching him train, and you said he looks great. He's got the weight on. It's all muscle. Can you see the outcome of this fight then being any different from the first one?
Well, look, we all want AJ to win the fight. Obviously, him being Britain, we want him to bring them heavyweight titles back to Britain. And look, I think because I think he wins this fight, he beats Usyk, but it will be a very, very difficult task. He then goes on and maybe does a undisputed unification fight against Tyson Fury, which will be a massive fight in the UK. But if he loses, then where does he go from there? I mean, there's still big fights out there for him. He's a massive pay-per-view seller. He's a massive name, sells out arenas. But he has to win this fight. And there's a lot of pressure on Anthony Joshua going into this fight. And I just hope that he obviously having a new trainer that he's got now and having a new team, I'm sure he's going to do his best to go into this fight and win this fight.
I fully expected him in the first fight, AJ, as you said there, to really go at Usyk, certainly the first couple of rounds, and try and put him away. Do you think maybe Usyk is expecting that, and that's why he's put on the added weight?
Yes, I do think that. Yeah, I think that he feels that AJ is now going to put the pressure on him. Knowing that AJ is the bigger guy, he's a more natural heavyweight. I mean, Usyk is his second, third fight or something in the heavyweight division. But I think what AJ has to do is just jump on him early. I mean, look, AJ's got that puncher's chance as well. I mean, look, when it comes to boxing him, AJ is a good boxer. He's an Olympic champion. You can't take that away from him. But one thing about Usyk, he's a superior boxer. And you can't really beat him when it comes down to tactics or technique or, boxing skills. So what AJ has to do now is just put that pressure on him and try to push him on his back foot and catch him some big shots. But maybe that's why Usyk's put on that extra 15 pounds, because he knows that's what's going to happen. AJ will go into this fight. I think he'll make mistakes if he tries to box him again, because we saw in the first fight, he was getting caught. He was getting outboxed at times. But the way AJ can win this fight, I feel, is by putting his pressure and putting that power in.
Okay. I want to talk more about you in just a moment. Before I do, staying with that fight, let me remind our listeners, talkSPORT will bring you live and exclusive radio commentary of that fight, Joshua against Alexander Usyk. That's next Saturday, August the 20th. It's completely free. All you have to do is download the talkSPORT app or, of course, find talkSPORT on your radios. Right, Amir Khan, let's talk about you. Now, I'm looking at you. You're in front of me on our big TV screen. If people are watching YouTube, they can see you as well. You look totally different to when I've seen you as a boxer. You look like you've had the weight of the world lifted off your shoulders. You've got a smile on your face permanently. Do you feel any different now you're retired?
I mean, well, I might look a little bit different today. I had a haircut. Had a haircut and stuff. But look, yes, I mean, just to know that I've retired, and it was still on my, like, if I didn't announce I was retired, I would have got a phone call. I was getting many phone calls from Manny Pacquiao's team. Then Mayweather, met him in Dubai, saying that, look, maybe we should do something. I was like, I have to announce I'm retiring from boxing. Then everyone knows that I'm done. And that's what I did. I mean, once I retired, I felt that pressure on my shoulders lift off. And like, now I can walk, I eat what I want, sleep when I want. Don't have to go hit the gym no more. But, I still hit the gym, obviously. I do miss the sport. But I'm so happy that I've done what I had to do, and I'm glad I'm walking at the sport in good health, and I can look at my family.
I have to ask you this question. Now, Kell Brook was asked on Saturday whether we'd ever see him in a ring again. He said it's not over till it's over. I know that Tyson Fury, he's made more comebacks than Frank Sinatra. If the right money was on the table for a fight, and I include Kell Brook, I even include maybe some YouTubers. I don't want to name them because I hate giving them airtime, but even a YouTuber. Is there any way whatsoever for a certain amount of money we may see you at some time back in the ring?
Nah, I'm done. Honestly, I'm done from the sport. In the last fight, when I was in camp, it's like I knew I lost the love for the sport. I was training just to keep fit, just to get fit, and just to give the British fans this fight. I mean, it wasn't me. I mean, even when I was walking to the ring, normally I'd be nervous, I'd be excited, but I had nothing. I had no butterflies in my stomach. It's like I just wanted to get over with. I didn't want to be there, and I just have lost love for the sport, to be honest with you. I love the sport, don't get me wrong, but me as a fighter in boxing, I can't do it no more. I've got injuries. Wake up now, if I'm sat there for too long, my back's gone. I'm always got injuries here and there, and I'm like, look, I'm so happy that I'm walking out mentally and physically, and also done well in the sport in financially. I've end of the day, we all prize fighters, and I've made enough money now to live the rest of my life happy and see my kids grow up. And I always get the question, would you let your kids ever box? I mean, I'll take them to the gym. My little girl the other day was boxing with me, and I would never let them, because boxing is a very brutal sport, and it's not a nice sport. One thing I could say is you win fights, you've got everyone around you. You lose a fight, everyone disappears. It's a very sad sport, and everyone's there for the taking. It's what they can get from you. It's what they can make from you. And luckily, I kind of got to see all this and I got to realize that people were like this. And the last couple of fights is where I made where I made the most money in my career, because I was doing everything myself. I cut this guy out, cut that guy out, because at the end of the day, us as boxers, we do make a lot of money, but we do have a lot of big expenses as well. And luckily, I had my wife to help me on this, and she took full control of all expenses, who I'm paying, what I'm paying, and I mean, I saved so much, and it's probably the last couple of fights that have given me that confidence to leave the sport and I never have to fight again.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, Amir, it was announced, obviously, of course, this week about Benn taking on Chris Eubank Jr. First of all, what did you make of that fight when you heard it was announced, and who do you think will win that fight?
See, it's a very tricky fight. I mean, I think, look, who's going to win the fight? It's a hard fight to call, because you've got Eubank, who's got the size, who's got the strength at that weight as well. And then you've got Benn, who's been blasting everyone out in the 147 division, been looking amazing. But is that extra weight for him going to help him? And is that natural weight for Eubank? I think that'll be more, it'll help Eubank a lot more, I think. And if I had to pick someone, I would lean more towards Chris Eubank Jr. But you just never know what can happen in boxing. I think Chris Eubank has been hit by big guys. He's fought at that weight a long time. Is there? I don't know if you guys know, but is there a rehydration clause in this fight?
We understand there is. This is what we understand. This is not true, but it's $100,000 per pound is what we understand.
Okay, so I mean, it just depends what they've limited the weight at, so you can't go over. But if it's a natural weight for Chris Eubank, I think Eubank, I lean more towards him. But if it's a weight where Eubank has to still, after weighing, stop eating and still can't eat as much as he normally put, and he can't really put on that extra weight what he normally puts on, I think that could work. That could work against him. So to be honest with you, it could be a 50-50 fight then, depending on this weight clause, really.
I mean, forgive me, I might be wrong, but did you move up to middleweight when you fought Canelo?
Yeah.
And how did you find the jump in weight?
I mean, it was very hard, honestly. Like, when you fighting a bigger guy, see, when I fought Canelo, we did the fight at 155, which just about made the middleweight division. But then I tried to do a rehydration clause in that, and Canelo's team said, hell no, we're not going to give you no rehydration clause. I mean, then they said, okay, the fight's not happening. I mean, when you've got like almost like $10 million on the table, you think, forget it, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to just go for this fight. And I know at the same time, it's paying me well, but at the same time, I think I've still got my chance. I think my speed will get me through this fight, and I can win this fight by staying away from Canelo's power and Canelo's strengths. But then obviously when you're in the ring with someone bigger than you naturally, you hit them, you feel like nothing's happening to them. You see nothing's happening to them. And normally when I hit guys at my own weight, they slowly wear down, they slow down, they're getting hurt. But with Canelo, he was never getting hurt. It's like he was just shrugging everything off. I hit him some good shots. It's like, okay, I'm going to get my time. And then towards mid-fight, he knew that my feet are slowing down, and he caught me with a overhand right hand, which luckily I don't remember much of. But I mean, I woke up and the fight was over, and everything was all right. But I mean, you know, weight divisions are there for a purpose, and I had to respect it after that. You know, after that Canelo fight, because that could have been end of my career if I felt wrong, if I fell wrong, and if that punch affected me, that I might have never fought again. So really, but it was probably worth $10 million. I mean, I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, I think it's there or thereabouts, right?
The respect I got from Canelo after that, I mean, he's got a big poster on me in his house. And whenever I met him, he's been nothing but respectful, because he knew I was coming up not only one weight category up, I was going up like 3-4 weight categories up just to fight him. And this is where I feel that if the weight is done right, it's more for Conor Benn to win. But if the weight is, if they give a lot of weight away, then I think Conor Benn could be in problems, and I think Chris Eubank got the power and strength.
Amir, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. Over the last 8 or 9 minutes, I've sort of fallen in love with you. When are you coming into London? Because we would just do everything to get you in the studio for an hour.
I'd love to be there, man. I'm thinking of being in London now. I'm going to be there probably next week sometime. And then I'm going to do this. There's a big announcement happening. Don't worry, I'm not going to be fighting.
He's coming back. He's coming back.
You're taking on Jake
$10 million.
Is it Jake Paul?
No, mate, forget boxing. I'm not going to put on them boots again. I'm not putting the gloves on just to fight. I don't have it in me, man. But there's something else I'm doing which is quite big, and I think you're going to be quite intrigued by it.
Well, will you come into our show? Because what will happen is you'll say yeah, then Jim White will phone you up in the morning and go, right, we'll get you on, and you'll go, and then you'll go on his show and we'll get really annoyed. Can you promise you'll come on our show?
I'll promise you guys I'll come on your show, no problem.
Okay.
You got me, guys, and we'll keep in touch and just hit me up.
That's, by the way, that's legally binding. So if you go on his show, we will sue you for $10 million. We know you've got it.
All the Canelo money.
Yeah. just quickly before I let you go, what are you doing now? Or can you not say? Is it to do with the announcement? What are you doing to keep busy, other than what you're going to tell us?
TV work. Obviously, I've got my TV show with the family called Meet the Khans. That's quite fun. And also, I look after the whole of Middle East for WBC, World Boxing Council. So everything has to go through me for the big fights that happen here. I have to sanction them. I have to make sure the referees and judges are okay. So the Saudi fight where AJ is fighting next week, I'll be there in Saudi Arabia, making sure everything's done right. Even though AJ's fight's not for the WBC, but there's another fight which I have to make sure is all right.
Okay, well, listen, thank you for coming on. The texts are coming in thick and fast. This one's just coming from Richard. He says, what a guy Amir Khan is. Get him on talkSPORT, so honest and funny. Sign him up as soon as possible. We cannot wait to get you in the studio for a proper chat, Amir. I honestly, I'm a big fan of yours. I know Benn is as well. So we hopefully will see you in the studio next week, maybe the week after at worst.
Yeah, I'll be in touch with you guys for sure.
Okay.
It'll be lovely. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Cheers, Amir.
Thanks, Amir. There you go, wonderful Amir Khan. He sounds totally different now he's retired.
Yeah. I always think about when boxers go, yes, me done. I always think, are you done though?
But with him it is. You can hear
I don't know.
Oh, come on, Ben.
If someone slaps 10 million in front of his face again?
Yeah. To slap his face again?
No, but a YouTuber, 10 million? That's like for free. That's for Amir Khan.
Yeah.
That's free money.
Yeah. Okay, well, maybe we'll ask him that. We'll find out before anyone else, because he'll be on our show before anyone else is.